Mark Walsh here on European self-belief. So a lot of kind of personal growth work coming from the States, particularly, most of it does, is about you gotta believe in yourself. And yeah, that could be a good thing, you know, confidence, self-belief, that can really go a long way for sure. You know, I know certainly in business or romance, there's many different areas where having that confidence, believing in yourself makes a massive difference. There's no doubt about it. And I guess the key question for me here is like, what are we basing that on, right? What are we basing that self-belief on? So if it's just, I'm awesome no matter what, that's actually psychotic, yeah? That's actually bizarre. Like if I start to think I'm, you know, having self-belief about, I don't know, being able to fly a plane, you know, I've got very basic skills at flying planes, or being a good driver. The evidence just does not support that. I haven't driven much, I haven't got much experience. I crashed a car once, I bumped into things, you know, if I look at the evidence, it just doesn't support I'm a good driver. Now, basic self-belief in myself as a person, yes, you know, basic self-esteem, sense of, you know, I'm basically a good person. I'm just making a coffee. I'm basically a good person. I can learn stuff, you know, I have some sort of fundamental skills. Awesome, you know, something to install in all children. But I know I've worked a lot with kids, and I know what happens when you just tell them they're great, they're awesome no matter what. There was a whole generation in the States raised up by certain people in the UK, but mostly in the States, and they just become obnoxious, really obnoxious, because they're not basing their self-esteem on reality, yeah? So it's cut off from reality, and underneath that there's a sort of insecurity, and you can feel it, but underneath the bravado is an insecurity of not actually knowing you're good at what you do. And this is what I was like when I started my company 9 years ago. On the surface, I looked like a very confident guy, but underneath it, insecure, and that was playing out in all kinds of unpleasant ways. So I would suggest actually basing our self-belief on evidence. So, you know, can I do a stress management workshop? Well, I did one yesterday, right? It went pretty well. The feedback was good. Yeah, so I'd say, you know, yeah, I've done that for years. Feedback's good. Of course I can, you know, like basing that on reality. So I'm just making a coffee here, multitasking. So yeah, why not? I think it's a more European, maybe a more British model of basing our self-esteem, basing our self-belief on what we actually can do, what we've been shown to do. Maybe there's a bit of a leap of faith needed there when we start something, but I actually prefer to build it up. You know, we launched an online course called Purpose Black Belt, and it was built on content I'd been using for years, but I wasn't sure if it would work at the first run, and what I did was do like a load of one-to-one coaching sessions with people using the content, and got more and more confident based on how those sessions were going and the feedback I was being given. So I think rather than this sort of psychotic self-belief incapacity no matter what, actually having self-belief based on evidence, based on feedback, based on experience is kind of common sense, really. So I'm going to call this the British model of self-belief, of common sense self-belief, maybe your European model generally. So yeah, self-belief, absolutely vital, kind of meta life skill, a little bit of faith in ourselves, absolutely, but not just telling our kids or telling people generally, telling ourselves that we're great no matter what. Basing it on reality, it's a much firmer foundation than just basing it on state or trying to brainwash ourselves. I mean, yeah, you know, getting to that embodied state of a bit more centered, grounded, expansive. Obviously, I'm a embodiment teacher, I'm not going to say not to do that, but mostly based on reality, self-belief, and just using the psychological tricks, the embodied tricks in order to go, no, actually, I can do this, and letting go of an old habit, perhaps.